really tight. So once they're done, to go back and change everyone, sort of like, great, thank you, keep going, you know. They've announced that they will be going on the second trip for the other side. So you'll be invited, if you are a holder, to partake in the second trip on the 25th of March, which is like 2 weeks away. The first trip was a massive success. There wasn't any terrain or anything like that. You know, there were some blocks you could jump on, but there wasn't much terrain. But we saw those really bringing excitement to the space. And now you've got your second trip coming, 25th of March. Anyone who's partook in one of the first ones or has bought one of the NFTs that did partake in one of the first ones, if you partake in the second one, your NFTs metadata will be changed and show that you did partake in the second trip. So it's something that's worth doing because it does help the rarity of the NFT.
Damn. You know what? I'm just gonna be along for the ride in this Yuga thing. See what they do. Maybe I need to just have faith. Just have faith and stop hating. Even though I want to hate
I
a little
mean,
bit.
the thing is, if Yuga fails, I really think the space is gone. You know, I'm not
Really?
saying if they fail. I'm not saying if they fail on one thing. I'm saying if Yuga fails, if Bored Ape Yacht Club is zero tomorrow, mutants are zero, other deed is zero, everything goes to zero overnight on
Bro,
the
no,
Yuga
Hold
ecosystem.
on. Hold on.
That's
Wait,
a
wait, wait.
warning sign for
Okay,
NFTs.
it's a warning sign,
It-
but you don't think D Gods is just gonna fill in that gap? All the projects that are blowing up Twitter right now that are way better at shitposting, Pudgy Penguin, Sappy Seals. You don't think they step up to the plate and maybe we have top five projects rather than one leading the charge?
No,
No?
I
Yeah.
think if the biggest fails, the one with the most amount of money and influence in the space, and they go to zero, everyone else is going to be like, holy shit! If they can go to zero, anyone can go to zero. No one's going to want to invest 100 ETH in a rare azuki because if Yuga can go to zero, azuki can go to zero. If Yuga can go to zero, anyone can go to zero.
Mm,
So you want them to continue pushing the envelope and doing well because it is in the best interest of the space. It really is. If one of the OG projects that are doing this full time with a team of 100 can't do amazing stuff and keep people excited, then what are we doing here? Because no one
mm.
else, your Frank from D Gods with his friend next to him trying to make something with all his heart is not going to be able to replicate what a team with $500 million and 100 full-time employees is trying to do. So, you know, we want them to do well. That's my feeling on it, you know.
Damn. Love to know what you guys think in the chat about this.
Yeah, so we've got John saying he thinks Azuki's strong enough. Look, I don't think straight away everything goes to zero. I'm just saying, like, if Yuga, the biggest project, can actually go to zero, it's not great for the NFT space in general. I mean, let us know what you guys think in the comments. I'm interested. Yuga is the top blue and Fool's right. Yuga's leading the charge. For sure, for sure. I mean, look, yeah, I want to see the big guys doing well. I want to see Doodles doing well. I
Mm.
want to see Azuki doing well. I want to see Clone X doing well. The big 5, 10 Pudgies has now come into that. I want to see them doing well because if we can get like 10 projects that can establish themselves as real use cases of NFT technology and show that they can be sustainable businesses, that's good for the space,
Mm.
right? Whereas if the 10 biggest ones can't make it happen, what are we all doing here, right?
True. Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. I have a lot more conviction in the space though. I do not believe that the place would shit itself. I mean, it would shit itself a little bit, but I don't think that would be the end. I don't think that'd be the end.
Well, it's sort of like when FTX failed and Luna failed, did that end cryptocurrency? No,
But it
right?
wasn't. The thing
And
is,
if
like, it wasn't
by
even close, dude. It wasn't even kind of close. Like, it did not do
they
anything.
weren't the biggest. No. Look, FTX did, bro. If you look at crypto pricing, I mean that spooked the market.
Bro, 3 months later,
If
and we're fine though. Is what I'm saying. Like, if NFTs, if that
Yeah,
happened to Bored
but
Apes, we were hurt.
they're not the Yuga of crypto. I think we'd see
Mm,
it if like Binance,
okay.
if tomorrow we woke up and Binance and Coinbase were gone, I think crypto would be in a lot of
Okay,
trouble. I don't think
but
it
that's
disappears.
yes, I agree. But that's only if all five of the top things crash. You're saying if Coinbase, Binance, FT, yeah, if all of them collapse, yes. But if
No, well,
just
all of
Bored
them
Ape,
have already collapsed except for Binance and Coinbase.
Like what I'm saying is if Binance bites, if nothing else collapsed, but it was just Binance or it was just Coinbase, it would be fine in 3 months. And I still believe it'd be the same if Bored Apes crashed. It would be really tough for a few months, and then we'd be right back where we started without Bored Apes. Like that's how we did it. FTX disappeared. That was one of the biggest market shares for cryptocurrency, banks basically. And here we are, completely fine. I think it'd be the exact same thing. I think someone else just pops up because we need to trade crypto.
I don't think anything would get to the value of like a rare board ape again.
Maybe not.
I wouldn't let me speak about myself. If Yuga failed, I would not feel comfortable spending 100 ETH on any NFT.
And is that bad though?
Up and up until this point, I have done that. I have bought a board ape at around about that price before, and I've spent that sort of money on an NFT because it was Yuga. I believe in them. I believe in the space and all the rest. I'm saying if Yuga fails, I will not spend that sort of money on a single NFT in my life again. Because if Yuga could have failed, and I may have been a holder at the time, which I'm not, I had sold that one. But then I'm scared to spend 100 ETH on a Azuki, or even if that was the floor price of Azuki at the time. That's what I'm saying with it. But I see we've got mixed comments. I've got Ria here saying she disagrees. Yuga will eventually fade away. NFT technology is here to stay. So let me clarify one thing. NFT technology, or rather let's call it blockchain technology, is 100% the future and is here to stay 1,000,000%. The blockchain technology is not limited to a picture of a monkey. The use case for blockchain technology is much broader, and that is there forever. To have a ledger of every transaction ever made, that's going to be for ticketing, it's going to be for your documents for your marriage certificate, it's going to be for proof of ownership, it's going to be for your transactions at a bank, it's going to be your transactions at Starbucks, it's going to be everything. That's there to stay regardless. But I'm saying NFTs, pictures, PFPs. If Yuga fails, it's not. I don't know where we are on the NFT side of things.
How much would that? Here's what I would think. Here's what my perspective on this. If that happened, we obviously would crash very hard, but I think it'd be very temporary. I think it'd be maybe, I don't know how long. Like maybe it's 1 month, maybe it's 6. But what I think would happen is instead of having one motherfucker up front so far ahead that nobody can reach them, is it turns into a little bit more decentralized, which everyone wanted anyway. I would much rather. Like this, I think this is why I hate it on Bored Apes, because I don't really like having one leader so far ahead, because if they're not there, then, maybe someone fills them, if they disappear, maybe D-Gods would come in or whoever, Doodles comes in and they end up taking the lead anyway. But what may happen is we have a culture shift in NFT, PFP, like DGen world where we're in, the people that nobody else except, 10,000 people are in. Maybe the culture in this little world changes, and it becomes less about which one can get to 150 ETH and replace Bored Apes and rival Bored Apes, but it becomes, it's okay to maybe operate in a world where 50 ETH is the cap. Like maybe that's fine, and maybe it changes and the conversation
10 ETH or whatever.
Yeah, I think that would happen, and I think I think it would just naturally, things would naturally fall into place as they're going to. But I just don't believe that the culture, like the reason I have so much conviction, the reason I bother to stay in this part of NFTs when honestly most of my content that I want to make doesn't really revolve around anything that's going on in DGen world. It's all educational focus. A lot of it's outside of the realm. I still think that this place is there's so much reason to still operate in this world, because the communities and connecting with people and being in a cult is the reason I get out of bed. I like to post on Twitter because I want to interact. I can't when I talk to people at the restaurant and I'm like, yo, what do you do all day? What's your hobbies? And they just go to work, they come back, but they don't have hobbies. They don't have a cult, that they don't have a gym, an MMA gym. They don't have a yoga class that they know all the people in. And I'm like, so you don't have a people. How do you survive mentally without a people, a community, some kind of thing? And that's what keeps, and if that's the glue that holds NFTs together. And I just don't believe that fades no matter what project disappears.
I think so. I think this is the benefit of the two of us. No, look,
I'm just kidding. That's just my opinion.
No. I'll tell you, because we're coming from such different places. So here, before the market went to absolute shit, you're sitting with a trader, that's who I am, of blue chips.
Sure.
I had over 600 NFTs. hundreds and hundreds of ETHs of value. I've owned, you can see behind me just some of them: Bored Ape, a Mutant, Clone X. I've had Cool Cats. I've had all of them, absolutely all of them. I've had a My Pet Hooligan. I've had a couple of My Pet. I've got all of them. You name it, I've had them. A Doge Pound, when Doge Pound were big, so I've traded on the high level. I'm saying from that perspective,
Got it.
if the highest value one can go from 100 ETH to zero, that scares me to put hundreds of ETH into it. Whereas from a community building perspective of a 0.5 ETH NFT or 0.1 ETH NFT, that makes no difference really. So you coming from that perspective where you value the art, and it's not just about the budget of how much you've got to spend. You value community, you value art, you value, those are your things, and that's the benefit that you bring to your viewers and to a show like this. So we're coming from completely different viewpoints. So yes, I still think there'll be the want and the need for a membership and to be a part of a group and a community. And if you need to buy a token for half an ETH, great. Would the whales out there be comfortable dropping hundreds of ETH, hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars? Less so. Less so. You'll be scared because the biggest one that was the safest, because it was the biggest blue chip, that one's gone to zero. The next one at 50 ETH could go to zero, right? And so do you want to spend 50 ETH? Whereas I'd be happy to put 51 ETH in at that stage. I'd be happy to buy into 50 projects that I believe in at 1 ETH. And My Pet Hooligan, there's a whole lot more. I mean, V Friends.
Hey, how about this? How about whatever. Like, you know, when you see those tweets, or not the tweets, the announcements where it's like, you know, what we talked about today, Bored Ape sold for 450 ETH. I don't think anyone gives a shit about that. I really, except for the top, you care because you've been at that level.
That's amazing. Yeah, I love seeing that.
That is a very small portion of NFTs. Most people have never spent even 1 ETH on an NFT. So for them, they're like, oh, I care because people care, but like they don't care. The news that they care about is, yo, this mint went from 0.05 to 0.3. People just made $400. That's what people care about. That's the news that gets, I mean,